Water can be thicker than blood. Good day. Thank you for allowing me to speak with you concerning adoption. We've all heard the cliche blood is thicker than water, which means that family means more than friends and most certainly more than strangers to us in our family lives. However, this may not be always the case. UNICEF in 2011 reported that in the world, there's an estimated 153 million orphans with only one parent there in the household to take care of them. In that estimate, there is 17.9 million orphans who have lost both of their parents. This leaves those children to care for themselves in sometimes unsavory places, such as in under the bridges or in the streets. 25% of these children age out of the system without a high school diploma or GED. 70% of these youth end up in foster care, desire to attend some form of higher education, whether that be college or technical school. And 33% of these kids, as you might imagine in the foster care system, have changed elementary school 5 times before they make their way into middle school, which is a result of lost relationships. And most of these kids fall behind educationally. Okay, so those are a lot of numbers, and really numbers don't matter much to us in our everyday lives unless we're talking about a statistical newscast. So I'm going to try to see if I can make these numbers a little bit more real for you. Imagine coming home from school only to be met at the door by a strange person. Now remember, strangers are people that we teach our kids not to talk to unless we are around them. This particular person introduces themselves, and the only thing that you can remember is that you are now being taken away from the only home that you've ever known. And as a 7-year old, well, you've noticed that there's been some dinners that you've missed, but lately, these dinners have become far few in between, sometimes going 3 and 4 days without having a meal in the nighttime. So, you've been taken. Over the next few years, you've become accustomed to those people that we're not supposed to talk to. They're called strangers. Sometimes these strangers are treating you like if though you are a member of their own family. But more than not, a lot of these strangers are actually treating you, yes, if though you are the cash cow. You see, the foster care system in the United States pays certain families to take care of children in your position. Whether you know it or not, you've just been inducted into the foster care system. Now, by the age of 10, your hopes of getting back home for most of these kids are long gone, and you've been spanked, which is totally against the rules. You've been treated like a baby in some cases, which is really daunting, especially considering that you've endured more experiences than most adults have in their entire life. You are now part of the 153 million kids in the foster care system. You have become one of the foster care system statistics. Now, the chances that you will be in foster care until you're 18, well, that's very high, but the new numbers from UNICEF says that most kids who are in foster care past the age of 10 end up staying in foster care 13 months. Now, that doesn't sound like a whole lot of time for us, but it really is. The story that I'm telling you is real for a lot of kids. And UNICEF, in their study in 2013, says that 23 100,000 teens in this country alone will age out of the system without ever knowing what a real family feels like. So, the best thing that most of us can do, who are able to, I'm suggesting adoption. An adoption family or an adoptive family is saying to that child that that child matters to someone by giving safety, security, and most importantly, love. An adopted family, a child can learn what it really means to be the water and have it to be thicker than blood. Thanks again, and you have a good evening.